Episode 3 of the Harem Cafe. You know me, many names, based on my dick, POMD or Abdi. And I'm joined today by my co-hosts. Introduce yourselves.
You know me, it's Z Zach bringing you back another oh god. Next.
All right, yo, it's Molester.
Yo, it's your boy Ryan. I'm Syrian, by the way, just so you know.
And
20%. And we got a guest.
we got a guest.
Want to introduce yourself?
My name's Jam, and I'm here to talk about some anime.
All right.
Yes. So we got a spicy one today for all you philosophers out there. All right, we got a spicy one. So we're looking at Hunter x Hunter. You know, everyone loves the show for the most part. One of the most critically acclaimed shonens. Pretty much everyone here definitely highly rates it. No objections.
It's in
Without a
everybody's
doubt.
top 5 here. So
Top 10, not top 5.
Top 10 for me, yeah, it's same.
Ah.
But very close. It's hovered. It's been top 5 before. And generally the reasons for that comes down to two major arcs, at least for most people, and that's the Chimera Ant arc and the Yorknew City arc. So we're gonna be debating which one's better. I think we're a little split here out of the 5 of us in here, so I'm interested to see where it goes. Zach,
Hey.
Sorry to all Greed Island fans, all 2 of you, the slime
Oh, yeah.
included.
so, sorry to the 3 of you Greed Island fans, and the 0.5 of you Zoldyck family arc fans.
I
Yeah.
think Zoldyck was better than Greed Island actually.
Yeah, I can understand it, but I don't agree with it. Personally.
I personally do not
Disagree.
My
Yeah.
bad for these notification shits if you hear on the voice, like on the podcast. You know,
Uh,
my computer was running low,
Yeah.
so I had to put it in charge.
all right, so who wants to start us off by giving their opinion on which one of these 2 arcs is better, and giving a brief summary as to why?
Me.
All right, Zach, what you got for us?
Alright, but first of all, no disrespect to any arc, okay? We all love these arcs, and we all love this show for what it is, right? And
Right.
now, no disrespect to Chimera arc, but I just found myself enjoying Yorknew arc way more than the Chimera arc. And I'm gonna give you one major reason as to why I enjoy the Yorknew arc more than the Chimera arc. It's a pretty simple reason. The
Mhm.
Yorknew arc had better pacing. It was consistently good. It was literally action after action after action. Like, stuff was going down every episode. But in the Chimera arc, it was more built up, right? Sure, the built up might have paid off later on, but some episodes were unbearable. Like when they were in that town after they got defeated in the NGL and they left Kite. Like, remember those like episodes with the palm and shit, fam? Some of them I found unbearable. But like with Yorknew arc, I can't remember one single bad episode of the show. And we had so many good episodes. We had the Phantom Trope introduction. We had the Phantom Trope, how they were taking down those assassins. We had the fucking Requiem, bro. Don't even get me started on the Requiem. And then, oh my god, bro. Kurapika versus you Uvogi. Oh, I said enough, to be honest. I think I rest my case right here, bro. If you wanna argue, throw hands at me right now.
All right. Let me hit you with something. All right. I agree with pretty much everything you said. Aside from when you said that slow shit was unbearable. It was not unbearable. It was just
Get a load
not
of
as
it.
great. It was
Well,
okay. It was okay. It did not ruin the arc by any means. All the build-up was so worth it because the story actually had an ending, which Yorknew is lacking. Yorknew did not have a proper ending. And sure, I would get all the manga people in the comment like, oh, you know, the story continues in the manga or some shit.
That does
Dark
have an ending too.
Yeah, regardless, we're not talking about manga to begin with. None of us here have like read it, but like the Chimera arc actually finished. It had a full story. You know, it had an arc for every character involved. The Yorknew was amazing, and I do agree that it was more consistently paced. I don't think that's enough to put it over what was like such a fantastic story from the Chimera at that time. That pacing does not make up enough, in my opinion. But Kurapika versus Ubo is actually my favorite fight in the show as well. So, you know, I definitely love Yorknew. It's my second favorite arc.
I have to agree with what Zach said about just that little portion of the Chimera at the beginning. The part where I disagree with him is also the unbearable part
Yeah, it
because,
wasn't.
yeah, it wasn't unbearable. Like, it was just like a little bit less interesting than what was going to go down. But again, everything else coming afterwards, it didn't really matter. It made up for that little tiny boring section, and it was like literally nothing, anyways.
Yeah,
But
it was actually only like 1 or 2 episodes when I rewatched it. So
right,
But those episodes were like, because at the time, Gon didn't know that Kite was dead for like that whole time until he finally sees him. So
right,
like, if it weren't for that little break where Gon didn't know that Kite was dead, it would just be boom. He knows Kite's dead, and then he wants to go. He wants to go straight into it.
it was a nice way to bridge the gap. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry,
But-
wait. I think Jamal was still gonna say something.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
no, I'm good.
Oh, okay, but I'm gonna just explain my reasoning after Zach because Zach started it off with the Yorknew defense, so I'm gonna go off my Yorknew defense. I preferred Yorknew, not a lot better. They're it's pretty neck and neck with the Chimera arc, but I still prefer the Yorknew arc because what it did for me and what it did for the anime is in the Yorknew arc, beforehand we had the shit going down in Heaven's Arena, right? And
Yep.
the strongest member of the Heaven's Arena, like cast, arguably Hisoka.
Mhm.
And then
Yep.
once Yorknew started up, then you see more of the Phantom Trope members. So when they introduced a lot of the Phantom Trope members, it just kind of like it had a build to like it just showed us how strong like all of the characters in Hunter x Hunter were, and just showing us how like how much space both Hisoka or not Hisoka, Gon and Killua had for growth in their strength. So like it kind of just set them. It just like it made the Phantom Trope some like people on a very high pedestal to reach, and like it just kind of shows you how like right now Gon and Killua are a little bit insignificant in the world of Hunter x Hunter
Power scaling.
in power scaling.
Yeah, but the show does that in every arc.
Right, it
Chimera
does that.
Antic-
But
It
with
does that, but, like,
the
I'm
Phantom
saying,
Troop
like-
was like, because when you first see Hisoka, he's like some monster. Like he's literally like
Right,
he's using power that you've never seen before, and then you realize like there's a whole group of them there's like 3 of them that are arguably stronger than Hisoka, and it's like Gon's never seen these. Like Gon isn't even close to where Hisoka's power was when he first
Yeah.
right,
realized
but like yeah, like Ryan said, it does that for every arc. What I'm saying, like for Yorknew with the Phantom Troop, you just realize how much fucking how much Nen like how much you can grow with Nen, and
Yeah.
like fucking that. There's like literally no boundaries to people's Nen, and that's why I liked how like they introduced the Phantom Trope. And plus, in my opinion, the Phantom Trope is the best villain group in anime by far.
Agreed. I can agree on that.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
agree on that.
and
The Phantom
I get-
Troop were all sick design wise. I definitely agree with that.
Right.
I get what Mo was saying when because like the way I think that the Phantom Troop getting introduced was like the biggest like awakening for Nen in the whole anime, because like that
Right.
like and that's why it's such a big deal when you see the Phantom Troop. I think that's what Mo was trying to like get at.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like fucking, like once you see the Phantom Troop, you just realize like how endless the boundaries for Nen are. Like obviously you have like Meruem and the Chimera Ant, who's like fucking godlike basically, but like you can expect like godlike creatures after what you're seeing like from regular humans in like fucking Yorknew, the Phantom Troop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I could see that. The Phantom Troop was definitely a good representation as to how strong humans could become. Uh,
Right.
how strong like Gon and Killua could become, whereas the Chimera Ants are just innately stronger. So
Yeah.
it was kind of hard to compare them in that aspect. So I definitely agree with what you're saying there. However, it just isn't enough, in my opinion, to make up for the amazing story that was told in the Chimera Ant arc, and how many characters was involved, and how many of them had development, and how many of them just changed and had an amazing arc. And obviously there's the main ones like Gon and Meruem,
Right.
right? But even with the guards, you could see them like just see over the course of the arc them changing. In Poof's case, he got more desperate. In Pitu's case, she got a little bit more, I guess, empathetic towards Gon. And in Yuppie's case, he just found out how to become stronger and how to not just basically be a fucking meathead.
Yeah.
that just and I love the arcs for all those characters. And while the OST is amazing in Yorknew, it still does not come close to what we hear in the Chimera Ant arc. I love every song, and it adds so much to all of the scenes, even if they're played a shit ton. And you could definitely argue they're overused, but they're so good. And it was the pinnacle of the show, in my opinion. It was everything the show was leading up to be. And the Yorknew arc was kind of just a prerequisite to that. So, what about you, Abdi? You haven't said too much here. I know
Right.
you're on the same side.
Yeah, so on this debate, I say probably Chimera is the better arc. Now, before I say that, Yorknew is a very, very close second to me. But as Ryan mentioned before,
Yeah.
I think what makes Yorknew second is just the complete abrupt ending, and things didn't feel, flushed out or rounded up in the end. As much as it just was just an abrupt stop to how the story was going to progress, and then onward to Green Island, right? But Chimera Ant is one of my favorite arcs of all time.
Abdi, so you were kind of cutting out there.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Chimera Ant arc is one of my favorite arcs of one of my favorite anime arcs of all time, right? And you guys mentioned before there are certain parts of the arc that feel dull in comparison to the rest. And honestly, while I can kind of agree with that, those duller parts, to me, are nothing short of like an 8 out of 10. Whereas the rest of the arc is a full, like a full 10 out of 10, right? The enjoyment was still, I still had a ton of
I
enjoyment
agree.
throughout the entire ride. And the Phantom Troop were very cool. I feel like the Royal Guards are much, much better. Design-wise, personality-wise, I mean, the Phantom Troop is all cool, but, a lot of them have no lines for
It's a bold
pretty much the
statement.
entire arc.
I could agree with most of what you said, but I don't know about like design-wise. I don't think the guards beat out the Phantom Trope members in design, like character design, anyways.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to retract that statement about one of them is just a red wall.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah.
Phaeton alone, fucking,
Phaeton's sick.
he was sick. Like his overall character design was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that
think
just
that statement. I
Phantom
didn't think
Troop are
about
just
this.
so badass. I love
Personality.
yeah,
Personality-wise,
personality.
though,
Okay.
I do need to say, Ryan has already hit the nail on the head. They all go through not major, but character arcs
Yep.
during the Chimera Ant story.
They're way
Right.
better. written.
Yeah, they're way better written, and I think the comparisons made between Gon and Meruem, fantastic. You see one
Parallel
start off as,
journeys.
yeah, like a child really going on an adventure, becoming a monster, and a monster who was bred to pretty much take over the entire world, ending off, very, very human-like.
Mm-hmm.
Having feelings for someone. and
Yeah.
dying playing chess of all things, or not chess, but board, basically chess.
Um,
Komuga
Like
Yukiro, bro.
Wait, hold
the
on.
most, the
Jamal was
most.
saying something. Sorry.
Oh
What's
yeah,
up,
go
Jamal?
ahead.
no. Okay, no. I thought Abdi was done. Continue.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying, and like what ends up changing him ends up being such like a minuscule thing that you wouldn't imagine. Oh, the reason why he's not so hell bent on destroying the world because there's a blind girl playing a board game with
Yeah,
everything else, right?
yeah.
Uh,
Black
yeah.
girls do be the baddest.
Oh, boy.
Oh, word.
So, the reason why I like Greed Island. What the fuck? That was on my head.
Ain't nobody
At
talking
number
about
4.
Yeah.
The reason why Chimera arc was like I just liked it way more was because like it's this whole like big it's this big war technically that's about to happen and you're just waiting for like the moment
So
that
much tension.
Merium you're waiting for the Merium just to snap and just go off on everyone but that's literally the opposite of what he does. He's so like passive about everything and he just he can literally do anything he wants, but what he decides to do is go for this girl that is just
He plays a
he
board
just
game.
plays a board game with like that's literally the opposite way you thought that arc was gonna end. You thought it was gonna end in like a fight between Gon and Merium or something like that. It wasn't really nothing like that. It was more just like he just said, "Screw this, bro. I don't want to be a king anymore. I want to be this girl's friend."
Right.
Yeah, he realized he wasn't perfect, and that's partly what I love about it is that he couldn't beat her in this game. So this made him realize, if I can't even beat this girl in a game, do I have the right to say I'm the strongest in the world? Sure, I could kill everyone right now, but it's not just about that. There's more things. There's more things to life than just fucking dominate essentially. And I mean, maybe that's those fucking human genes really, really playing tricks on him there because he becomes so human by the end of the arc that, like, despite how many people we saw him kill, brutally murder children, villages of people, we were still so sad to see him die. And, he ended up being, like, the coolest dude in the whole arc. Like, it just such an amazing arc for Meruem in particular, and Netero and Meruem's fight, it like speaks volumes for like I could write a whole essay on that fight because how much it represented and the things that Togashi was trying to convey, and all the ideas. We always meme about the philosophy and shit, but it's true. It's there, and it makes a lot of sense. And I love how it was presented in this fight, and I love how Netero is presented as the villain, almost the bad guy. They basically made him out to be a devil in the end, and Meruem fell right into his trap, which ended up just being a nuke. He didn't beat him with his raw strength or any bullshit like that. He had to basically show him one of the most fucked up things humans have done, which is make weapons of mass destruction, and that's what he had to resort to, basically showing that it's not just the ants. Like if the ants thought they were the most dangerous creatures, well they were wrong, because humans have done far worse. That was kind of the philosophy behind that, and I just love that whole idea, even if it is a bit overstated at this point, and it's very obvious. They make it very clear, but I still love it nonetheless. And it was built up very well because they kept like drawing those connections throughout the arc. They kept comparing the ants to humans. This was consistent. I thought it was only in that fight until I rewatched the arc. I realized they were doing this the whole arc. This was always built up. Like they were always trying to, like Togashi was always trying to make sure we had this in our head, and that this was going to be the whole like theme of the arc essentially. And I just think that's so amazing. And while Yorknew was amazing as well, so much cool stuff in that, it just does not compare to the story of the Chimera Ant arc to me. and I can never really see it comparing to it, even if there were some slow points in the Chimera Ant arc. Like the build up was amazing, and then when you finally got to the palace raid, it was like you didn't know what was gonna happen. Both arcs managed to be pretty unpredictable. I'll say that.
You know what? I can admit, even though I do prefer Yorknew, the story in Chimera is definitely better, like you said. But here's one thing that I'm gonna say right now. So for Meruem and all the guards, they're all better as characters, like we previously stated, compared to the Phantom Troop. But one thing I like about the Phantom Troop more than the King and the guards was like the strong companionship between the Phantom Troop members. Because
Definitely.
in Yorknew, all of the Phantom Troop members, when they're shown together, it's not like they really get along like almost all the time. Like they're always arguing about some shit going on, right? But then they still, even though like they're portrayed as like fucking monsters during the arc, as soon as they lost like one of their companions, you know, they all mourned for him, and they all like felt like shit after what happened to Uvo, and that's just like, I don't know, I can't see that happening with like one of the guards finding out that another guard had died, and that's just something I like about the Phantom Troop a lot more.
I definitely agree.
The guards.
It's like
factual.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say something about the fight with Kurapika and Uvo. I don't think it was like, obviously like it was a good fight, but I don't think it was like amazing. Like, nothing about it like really made, like, I get she killed like a Phantom Troop and that's pretty crazy, but like she kind of just shit on him. Oh fuck me, man. He kind of shit on him.
True, but that's what makes it amazing. You would not expect going into that. But Kurapika seemed like the underdog going into that fight.
I mean, once I seen that he like, I don't know, it was just like he just shit on him, bro. Like it didn't even feel like it was like that big of a...
Same thing has happened with almost all the fights in the Chimera Ant arc. They were always one-sided, pretty much. So,
right.
I don't even know why I'm defending Yorknew here, but this is my favorite fight in the show, so like I gotta defend that at least, even if I don't prefer the arc. But yo, Zach ain't say much shit. What you got,
Zach? Where you go?
No, I was just listening, I was just taking in what you guys were saying, you guys were speaking straight facts, I'm not gonna lie. Yorknew did have an abrupt ending, it really just had like an abrupt ending, and like you didn't get to see the conclusion to Kurapika's arc. But like Ryan said, the manga shit, but we're anime only, so we haven't like read all that shit, right? And like I 100% agree with what you said there, but like I feel like that has to do with the author. I felt like he wanted to get over Gon and Kill's arc, you know what I'm saying? And he wanted to get over like Gon's journey to finding Gin and whatever. So like he just chose to like put Kurapika's arc on hold. So I don't think that's really Yorknew's fault, but like
but it still hinders the arc whether or not
it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. So like I'm gonna give you one reason why I kind of prefer the Yorknew arc more than the Chimera arc. Now, I could argue this, like I could try arguing, but like at the end of the day, it's pretty factual that the Chimera arc is better written, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious. But like I hear a lot of people talking about, the philosophy, and they're speaking facts. Obviously, they're like, yo, Netero, he just portrayed as like humanity's worst, and like Merriman is gaining humanity's like best qualities, and oh my god, like all this stuff, right? But like people are forgetting that this man Kurapika threw away his humanity to fill in the emptiness that his art had.
Right.
Yeah, that was great. That was
so great. And like Jamal was talking about, the Ubogan fight wasn't like all that nice, and it was just an okay fight. To be honest, that fight for me wasn't really about the flashy flash stuff, but it was about that One Punch Man reference. But like, I had to do that. But I was saying, the fight was like more deep than that to me. It was like you see Kurapika catching like his first body. Like you see this guy actually like in the work. Like you see this guy actually.
This was the culmination of everything. That
Except you see the
basically.
culmination of his hatred. Like you just see that shit to work, bro. And on top of that, my nigga brought a fucking shovel to the fight, bro.
Oh, that shit was hilarious.
Bro,
Oh, I love that.
bro.
Zach,
That,
well, I do agree. Oh, are you done?
yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Well, I do agree that Kurapika throwing away his humanity to go on this revenge mission wasn't great. Gon did it better, and
True.
with a far bigger stake in that. Not only did he just throw his innocence away, he's thrown away his ability to ever use none again.
The
And
thing is,
For
I feel
them,
like
for
Chimera
that
ends.
time.
Yeah,
Gon technically just killed himself to do it.
the
Yeah,
thing
he
is,
was willing to die. If not for Aluka, he would have died.
I'm not gonna lie to
right.
you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm probably gonna get shit on for saying this, but Kite's death in the Chimera arc wasn't as emotional. Like, as I was like, we were talking about this like another day, but like there was this one scene at the beginning of Hunter x Hunter, right, where they were showing the bond between Gon and like Kite, right? They should have like shown that in the beginning. We are talking about that. In my opinion, like if they just showed more of Kite, I felt like I would have had more of a connection to him and would have like felt more empathy towards Gon, and I still felt empathy towards him. Like it just didn't hit as hard. You know what I'm saying? Because like Kite was just he was there, and like he just kind of died after like 10 episodes. That's just me though.
I mean,
True.
I agree they could have had more to make Kite's death feel more impactful. In fact, that's always been one of my criticisms with at least the story aspect of the Chimera Ant. But I still really liked Kite as a character. I think anyone who watched it probably would have thought he was pretty badass. His power is super cool. And we knew he had a connection with Gon and Gon's dad. So at the very least, like, there was a bit of a connection there. So, it kind of made sense why Gon was as pissed as he was. And so while you
Yeah.
might not have felt it to the same extent, story wise, it was still fine to me. Like, it still did the job. And I do think that like Gon's whole rage and loss of humanity was actually better than Kurapika's. Kurapika's was much more expected. Uh, Gon's was kind of, I wouldn't say out of nowhere. It was definitely built up for a long time, but out of nowhere in the context of the entire show. Like it kind of just all this shit happened, and now he's fucking pissed. Kurapika had been building his anger for years, hatred and revenge. And for Gon, it was like what, like a few weeks, not even. Well, I don't even know when you could say it started. I'd say it started when he first saw Kite as like a puppet. I think that's when it started in particular, and then it finally like culminated on episode 131 when Gon had his transformation. And I do think that that was better than Kurapika's fight against Uvo, at least character wise, not fight wise, but just for that character. I do think that Gon's was better, and it was a little bit more horrific, and it was so fucked up, especially when he was basically turning into a fucking demon at the beginning. Like you just see this little kid, this little innocent kid that just wants to see the world, that just wants to see, why his dad wanted to become a hunter. And now 130 episodes later, and he's this fucking demon, this fucking raging demon that basically just wants to fucking kill. That's his whole purpose, is to just kill Pitu at that moment. And he was willing to give up everything for that. And I think that scene was overall better. But as a fight, I prefer Kurapika versus Ubo. Just because of like the usage of Nen and shit in it. Thought it was a bit more technical, even though it was still pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
But I do agree with like Abdi that, if you're gonna talk about Kurapika's anger and throwing away his humanity, Gon's is arguably a better example of that.
But I did mention it. I said a lot of people bring up Gon's like throwing away his humanity
Yeah.
and like Merriman like gaining humanity, but like Kurapika also went through that, but like nobody mentions
Mhm.
that. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I'll agree with you. No one mentions it.
Like,
Yeah.
I
Like,
definitely
the only
that.
only reason why I think that it's brought up with Kurapika is because he has a condition, and then we learn that how strong condition really is. And then
Mhm.
Oh
once you
yeah, it
see
was a
her
great
condition,
introduction to the
you see
condition.
her condition, and then you're like, okay, how
Yes.
far can this go?
Yes.
And then you see Gon, do it, and you're like, oh my god, he can literally become as strong as he wants as long as he sacrifices.
Yeah, it was kind of
sacrifices
foreshadowing. Now that you look at it, Yorknew was foreshadowing the fucking.
I think that's the only reason why we really,
Debate
because like
wrapped
the
up.
main character is obviously Gon. So the only reason why we see that Kurapika has a condition is because later on we'll see how strong you can. And obviously she had a reason, she had to go. I'm gonna just shut the fuck up. We'll call it it. It.
Say they them.
For anyone who watches this and is like, this guy's retarded. This guy has never watched the show in his life. Man, it's been since I first started watching the show. I looked at Kurapika. I was like, that guy's a chick, and then it took me like first 4 episodes to realize that he's a guy. Okay, anyways.
Just don't mind him. He's just.
Anyways,
calling him.
so obviously Kurapika had his reasoning. He needed to defeat the Panda Troop because they fucking massacred his whole family. But like
The
once
village.
well, everyone that he's like, everyone
Yeah.
blood. I mean,
Family,
he doesn't have
village, whole clan.
So
Clan,
then,
yeah.
yeah. So then, and then, I mean, like that was his reason. But the main character was just going. You see him do his condition, and you're like, holy shit, you can really become as strong as you want
Yeah.
if you
Definitely.
just sacrifice as much as you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah, a bit off topic, but like, it would have been sick if we saw a flashback from Kurapika.
facts. Like that's
Yeah,
what,
definitely.
Phantom Troop actually came, kind of what he saw.
And
How
didn't
the fuck he got out alive?
didn't it show a little bit?
No, it never did. It never
No,
showed.
it didn't. That's something
The show never really has flashbacks when I look at it. At least not far back ones.
Yeah.
Like never like pre-episode 1 flashbacks. The only one I can think is like Kite. Those are maybe like a few with the game and stuff, but like,
Yeah, just small stuff with Ging, though. Nothing like serious.
there was like Leorio. So,
Are you?
like he's got
The
again.
I
goat.
mean, have you guys realized we've been talking for at least 40 minutes and L'Oreal's name hasn't been brought up once?
30 minutes. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, because Leorio's the protagonist, but I actually forgot.
True.
So we got like the manga arc where it's just the medical school arc, and
The
nothing crazy
medical-
happens. It's just tests.
The medical school arc.
Let's
That,
go.
that would go hard. That would be better than Green Island.
Yeah.
Damn. Fucking Islam's gonna be real mad when you watch
Green
this, bro.
Island slander.
I can't tolerate the disrespect, fam. Greatest isekai of all time. Hello.
No, Green
Greatest
Island wasn't. It
isekai.
wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was just.
Yo, but
Okay, when
Zach's
it was
kinda
done, I was
spit-
like,
The
whatever.
dodgeball game was sick. I love the
Bro,
dodgeball.
but-
Oh,
What
true.
is
Yeah.
Gigama?
Zach's kind of spitting right now.
What's it, Zach?
Greed
say?
Island's best. Greed Island is the best isekai.
Oh, true. It's
What's
like
it, Izuka?
the
It's
other world.
basically a genre of anime where like characters go to another world.
Yeah.
I mean, they were still on Earth.
Garbage, basically.
Like
No, it just had the same. It just had the same like setup as an isekai Jamal. So like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause,
So
like,
he's
you know,
just,
they
he's
got
just joking.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Just
Off
joking.
topic.
because
Off topic.
often with like isekais, they're kind of like video game MMO worlds, kind of like MMORPG worlds. So
Then would
That's
it be
why-
like, what's that one anime where he's like a skeleton god? So it's a guy.
Overlord. Yeah.
Overlord.
So like, would
Yeah.
Overlord be one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Bro, off topic. But man, in Greed Island, they had this card called Pregnant Stones, where a nigga could get pregnant, bro.
You can make a guy pregnant if you just use the card on him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to think about where that comes out.
And here now this is the line where we enter with a bunch of theories with
What the fuck is wrong with you, Zach?
Gon had no mother to begin with, and that's how Jin got. That's how Gon was
Oh
born.
no, that's not possible. Not possible. I don't want that. If that's true, if that actually happens,
It's
like,
not really
imagine.
true,
No, I
but-
know, but imagine
yeah.
like it comes out as like, yeah, he came out of his
Yeah.
dick. And now
Oh
go
my
and see.
fucking-
That would be hilarious. But fam, I'm about to go full on Hunter x Hunter philosophy mode on these niggas. But peep this. Yorknew perfectly encapsulates the
Wrong.
world that the human lives in, fam. The darkness,
You're
which
Wait, what?
the darkness, which is the black market, the auction house. You see all this stuff, and you see the assassins when they could have taken down Krollo. Money is the driving force of society, and when
Curse.
money wasn't provided, what happened? They left the scene and they
Fuck
skirted.
society. Where does that?
Yeah, actually, I agree with that. Like, and the auction.
Yeah,
Fucking,
yeah, but for real though, it actually perfectly portrayed how fucked up and messed up the world of Hunter x Hunter is, bro. Like
True.
Phantom trope, like not the Phantom trope, and like the whole arc of Yorknew actually did that amazingly, and that's like one of the reasons I prefer it over Chimera. Now,
So
Chimera,
and my anti
So
did
wait,
that.
the world of Hunter X Hunter is not fucked up because people want money just like in real life, but it's not because there's ants that can become humans.
Yeah, I don't know, the Chimera arc does that too, Zach. But like,
yeah, he does that too. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
but
like
bait.
Yorknew
No, I
does.
know. So
I mean,
it's
every
just
arc does
corrupt.
kind of.
You're just saying like the world's corrupt.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, yeah, it does. It does. It is kind of our first real like I guess it was our
Introduction to Earth.
first introduction to to the society, the Hunter society. You know,
It's
like,
the society.
because it took
But
place primarily
society.
in the city. Like, look at the Hunter exam was an isolated story. So was Heaven's Arena. So was the Zoldyck family arc. They didn't really interact with the outside. It was only within the confines of where those arcs took place. Yorknew was kind of all over the place, and we got to see a lot more around the city, and we got to see a lot more of what shit goes on in this city on a daily basis, and what kind of stuff we can expect for this world. So I agree with Zach there.
Right.
You're
Like, can we just appreciate that every arc in the show has completely different feel? Like they all are so unique and different, even if you don't like them. Like Greed Island, Yorknew, and Chimera Ant are all so unique. Like they basically have no similarities when you look at all
Almost
three,
none, yeah.
aside from the
Yeah.
characters and
Bro.
the
Right.
power system and stuff. But like you have a fucking basically what feels like a fucking murder mystery type shit in Yorknew. You got the isekai card game in Greed Island, and then you got fucking Chimera Ant. I don't even know what they call it, but it's basically a war.
You know what? I shit on Green Island too much. That the card idea was pretty cool.
It was
It
cool,
is
but
really
there's a
cool.
lot to throw on to the viewer.
But and also there was there's over 600 cards, but they only really cared about 4.
Yeah,
I-
they made
yeah.
it seem like they were gonna battle with the cards, but they didn't really.
Fucking Yu-Gi-Oh in this bitch.
But you know what? I didn't really have a problem with all of that. You know, with
Yeah, it's
600,
fine.
600 cards, but only 4 are used. You know, I'm fine because at the end of the day, I really
It
did
is
not
what it
fucking-
is.
I really did not fucking care about the card system all that much. It was never that deep for me. So I would just kind of I would watch it, I would see what the card does, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool, and then just leave it at that, and fucking not think about it twice. And I guess that's where Greed Island succeeds a lot. It's probably the least that you'll ever think in a Hunter x Hunter arc. So you'll just kind of watch it laid back, and
You don't have to pay attention.
True.
The cards will not matter after the arc is done.
right. So
Nothing in the arc really matters aside from just understanding that Gon and Killua are getting stronger.
exactly,
That's about it.
and it's just one of those arcs where it's not too heavy on the mind, so you can kind of just sit back and relax and watch it. And I think
Yeah.
it's a pretty good placement for the arc if you think about it. Because leaving Yorknew, it did have that abrupt ending, like you guys did mention. That kind of sucks. But then Greed Island, I think, was that perfect medium in between, sort of serious, but not so serious that you should pay attention 100% of the time. So like it's just kind of like it's like the calm before the storm, which is the Chimera Ant
Yeah.
arc.
I agree.
Palette cleanser.
And all
Yeah.
all the arcs like seamlessly led into each other. Did really well.
Yeah,
Right.
like,
They
did
never
you
felt forced at all.
Did you think
Yeah,
Gon
you-
could pick up a human-sized turtle and squish it with his own hands before Greed Island? I don't think so.
One thing that I definitely got to give to Greed Island is I love when anime does this, or beyond anime, all forms of media. Temporary alliances between protagonists and antagonists
Yeah.
to further their each individual goals. I feel like it makes for like a lot of character, and I think Greed Island does that very well with Gon,
Yes.
King One, and Biscuit, Hisoka.
Yeah, that was great. I love that.
Great.
Hisoka works with everyone, literally.
Yeah, he's always trying to like further his own goals, and he'll even if he has to work with people that might see him as an enemy, he's okay with that. He doesn't
He's
really
so-
seem to judge people, He kind of just vibes.
Hisoka the free
Yeah,
agent.
he's a pedophile. Like, we don't talk about that part. Yeah, we kind of saw that happen a bit in Yorknew, right? Hisoka was giving Kurapika valuable information, but they never really teamed up. It was more or less just Hisoka was like, "Yo, I ain't trying to fight you. I'll give you this info because I'm trying to fight Crowley. So this could help me and this could help you. So let's do it."
That also makes
Yeah.
me sad that they never. I don't know why they didn't think to put Crollo versus Hisoka in the anime. That would be so sick.
That's kind of manga spoilers for people who don't know about manga.
Yeah, I
Oh,
feel like it's
shit.
now. It's too
I mean,
late
like-
to mention, but
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter spoilers, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're watching this and you're already this deep,
We already said we didn't read the manga, so it's kind of a bait. Because none of us have. Like,
you
we didn't
baited
have,
idiot.
We all just know these
we
spoilers.
just know random shit.
No, but like
Internet is terrible.
if you watched the show, then you know Hisoka wants to fight him. So like,
Right.
It has to happen. It has to. That seems to be everything Hisoka's character has been set up to do. That's his long-term goal that we know of. And
you guys know
there's-
who wins?
I don't know.
No.
You guys don't?
I-
Oh,
Rather
Actually got
Maybe
spoiled.
never actually
I won't say.
No. Nah, it's a spoiler. Jamal, go read the manga. Everybody go read the manga. Everybody here go read the manga. Everybody watching,
I'm
go read
not
the
reading
manga.
the manga. No.
Read the manga.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not reading the manga. I refuse.
I'll go read the manga. Next chapter coming out 2074. Let's go.
Yeah, that's when I'll pick up the manga. Once they start dropping more chapters, I'll be like, maybe it's time to read.
oh, and and would this also be a manga spoiler? Do you ever find out if Gon can use Nen again?
I don't even think
Another
those-
manga spoiler. Everybody go read the manga. Everybody go read the manga.
Okay.
So, bro, peep this. I swear to God, man. I see a lot of people on Twitter. They be like, bro, Hunter x Hunter manga is better than Hunter x Hunter 2011, bro. You open the
Man.
manga, you get hit with the fucking webcomic art, bro.
People are just like,
That's some great bait.
yeah, that's great bait, but like, man, like, I can't help but think that people are serious because it's Hunter x Hunter fans. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna doubt that. But man, I don't know. It's like you can have your preferences, manga versus anime, but Hunter x Hunter anime just is better than manga. I'm sorry. Like,
Exactly.
The only
I-
way. Sorry, continue.
No, what were you saying, bro?
I was gonna say the only way a manga can be better than the actual anime is if the anime does a shit job of just portraying the story.
It's true.
If it
That's
portrays
Yes.
the story exactly like how it was in the manga, then the anime is just better because you physically see what's going on.
Yeah, and we're
The
not trying to
comments are gonna
slander.
be a fucking claymore. My God.
We're not trying to slander all you manga people. I understand maybe some of you like reading, and generally the manga art is more detailed.
Fuck
But-
likes reading.
But I think
Hunter x Hunter manga is an exception to that.
I think that yeah, true. Yeah, I think that just in general, it's kind of hard to like. It's hard to generally say that manga is better because, like, is it like why? How is it?
Whoever
Please
edits this,
explain.
insert just a photo of like one of the worst pages you can find from the manga.
Oh god, that's pretty easy. But
Oh god, you got a lot of options here.
I swear, like the reason I have a problem with like some of the Hunter x Hunter manga niggas is because they take like one panel or like two panels that the anime just decided, we're not gonna add this in, and they're gonna be like, you see, the anime doesn't have this. The manga's more detailed. The manga's better. Now you have to understand, in my opinion, anime doesn't have to be word for word for the manga. It has to have its own sense of uniqueness. You see, like the anime added a whole fucking like atmosphere to the Chimera arc with the whole orchestra, the
Right.
theme, the fucking
Yeah,
shit.
true.
The manga didn't have that.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's called an anime.
It had it in your head, maybe.
No, but a nigga was playing fucking pops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't have music with manga. You can't have voice acting. You can't have color. You can't have movement. You can't have actual fights. Really, like, ooh, I think he punched him. We see on the next
Oh my
page.
God, no. Manga fights are just like the
Lots
flip
of
pages
fun.
from the flip pages from Captain Underpants, bro.
Oh, the most blood you'll see in the manga is if you like paper cut yourself from flipping the page.
I swear, man. But like,
You're
the
bad
only things,
bro.
the only things that like a manga can have over an anime is like art and fucking if it follows the story better. And unfortunately, the Hunter x Hunter manga just does not do that because the art is just early Hunter x Hunter. It's fine, but it still doesn't compare to Hunter x Hunter 2011.
It has
Yeah,
amazing
right.
panels.
I think
It has amazing panels, but like it's just not consistent enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah. Yo, guys, I think we're coming up on a bit about almost
almost at an
50 minutes now.
Okay, I think it's
So we
time
should
for us to
probably
wrap it
go
up.
wrap it up. But
Yeah.
let us know in the comments. Chimera Antarc versus Yorknew. I can see reasonings for both. I love both arcs. Both are amazing. And don't fucking flame us too hard that we don't like manga as much as anime.
No,
Don't
Yeah,
flame
Hunter
me
x
and Zach.
Hunter,
hold
Hunter x Hunter manga fans, no disrespect here. We all enjoy Hunter x Hunter. It's a great story.
Togashi's not coming back.
Have fun with your chicken scratch.
True.
Yeah, and for all you waiting on the next chapter, I hope that when we're all, in our old folks' homes and shit, that we can enjoy this chapter.
Have
I can't
suffering
wait.
from dementia and shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I won't even be able to remember. I could just reread the last 20 chapters because I forgot it.
And then at that point, you'll just get too old. You'll just fucking die.
Yes, don't. Alright, Chimera and Arc fans, please don't flame me and Zach. It's just their personal preferences.
And I also forgot to mention this in the last episode, but if you guys have any discussion topics that you want us to talk about, then feel free to drop in the comments. You won't guarantee that we'll talk about it, but if we want to and we think it's a good idea, then
Can I plug my shit?
we'll put it in.
It's going to be in the description.
Oh,
It's
yes.
gonna be
Well,
interesting.
okay.
Alright.
Okay.
brothers, peep this. Me personally speaking, I do not I do not prefer one medium over the other. It's 50-50 for me. I've seen my fair share of garbage anime adaptations.
Zach is bisexual.
What I can say. Bro, I almost dropped a hard ER on you, bro.
Alright, let's leave
You're
it
never
at
gonna
that.
get demonetized, Zach.
Yo, whoever edits this, just
I'm
leave
not
it
gonna
at
say
that.
anything. I'm not gonna say anything to get us demonetized, even though we don't have 1,000 subscribers or 10,000 views.
We ain't making no fucking money off of this, bro. I'm sorry.
Zach, skip the fucking filler, bro.
Alright, get this shit done.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Okay, let me get to the point. I see
Bro,
my
we
fair-
got it. You like both manga and anime. Wrap it up.
You did not let me
Epilogue.
finish, brother. Keep this.
Okay,
Hunter
brother.
x Hunter anime in 2011 shit stomps the fucking manga. If you have a different opinion than that, dislike the video right now.
Why would you do that?
Why is
We-
nobody forgetting?
we-
Why is
we
nobody
waited-
talking about the '97 adaptation? I feel like that's pretty underrated.
99.
Uh,
I'm kidding, by the way. It was garbage.
That's a
Fucking hell, I wouldn't. I never
Seems
even
fine,
watched
It
it.
was garbage.
I
That's fine. I see where you're from.
the 99
That's for
anime.
another day. That's for another day.
Okay, let me close this off with the 99 animes for bitches who watch the 2011 anime and think that the 99 is just more aesthetic. Alright, I'm done.
All right.
Those people exist.
On that note, we are done and out.
Yeah,
Peace.
Bye.
Bye bye.